go. 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. This thing is super quick. Hey there, I'm in a 2015 Subaru Forester XT, or if you want to sound technical, SJG. Now, this is a highly anticipated review because many times when I've been uploading other car videos, the feedback has been, please review for us the 2015 Subaru Forester XT. Make sure you watch this video until the end, because this video is going to give you many tips if you are a Subaru enthusiast or if you are aspiring to purchase a Subaru Forester SJG. Before we get into this review, let me tell you a little bit of 0 to 60 motoring. 0 to 60 motoring gives you car advice. That is trusted car advice, either to make your car ownership journey easy. So if you want to purchase a car with any brand, you can literally ring us and ask us about that certain car. We're going to give you information that will make your car ownership journey easy. And if you want to purchase one, you can also ring us, say that we organize on how to source a clean car in the Kenyan market. All right, 3, 2, 1. 2015 Subaru Forester XT review. Now, the Subaru Forester, this is the 4th generation, because in 1997 they released the first one, that was the SF. Second one was the SG in 2002, third one SH in 2008, and then SJ in 2012. In 2019 they brought the SK. I've already reviewed an SG. If you are new, you can check it on the channel. The main rivals to this car, actually these are highly competitive segment, include the Honda CR-V, the Toyota RAV4, the Volkswagen Tiguan, the Mitsubishi Outlander, the Nissan Xtrail, and the Mazda CX5, which currently is selling like popcorns. So there is a rumor I want to demystify, which is pretty common with many Toms, Dicks, and Harrys out there. They say that the Subaru Forester SJ is a Toyota. Toyota just bought shares in the Subaru, and this car is worlds apart from the Toyota RAV4, which is the nearest competitor from the Toyota family. So these are pure Subaru, and the newer is always better. Yes, the Subaru Forester SG was a legendary car, but that doesn't mean that as the SJ is bad. All right, let's get into the engine flavors in the 2015 Forester. In the entry level, we have a 2000cc petrol engine, natural aspirated. That one is normally called the SJ5. If you are new into Subarus, I told you last week that 5 represents 2000cc and 9 represent 2500cc. We also have a rare 2.5 liter, which is normally called the SJ9. And then we also have a rare diesel flavor, especially if you're getting your car from Australia or the UK. We have a turbo diesel. Now the top of the range, the creme de la creme, is the 2000cc direct injection turbo, what I have here up front. It's called the SJG. Now all those engines have a continuous variable transmission, or CVT if you like. And then if you want a manual transmission, you can only get it in the 2500cc or the 2000cc. That is the SJ5 or SJ9. But this range top, this SJG, it only comes with a CVT gearbox. In all the Subaru Foresters, all the power is sent to all the 4 wheels via Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive system. Actually, in all Subaru 2000cc cars and above, they normally come with a symmetrical all-wheel drive system. Behind the wheel of this 2015 Subaru Forester SJG, or XT if you like, it's actually very good to drive. The steering wheel actually is very light, and when I'm gunning this car, of course I have a CVT gearbox, but one thing I've learned with this CVT, unlike what the Nissan Xtrail has or something like a Mitsubishi Outlander, this one actually is better placed. It's tuned better for road driving. It's actually very smooth, and you don't feel like you miss an automatic transmission. The 2000cc up front is actually a very potent engine. It's well married to the CVT. When you push this car harder, you realize that it comes a little bit loud, but then Because these things are well married to each other, they are having a good time. The gearbox actually moans pretty loud, but it's not a bad thing, of course. The car is very stable. It's very planted. It feels sure-footed because the flat 4 engine, that is the D8 engine, is actually placed somewhat lower than many cars. That's what contributes to the stability of this car. Now, how does the Subaru Forester SJG compare to something like the SJ5 when it comes to driving dynamics? This car is miles above the SJ5. I've actually driven the SJ5 a couple of times, and while that car is more reliable than this one, let me say I'm sorry for breaking your hearts. That thing is painfully slow. You will actually be outrun by someone with a Mazda Xtrail or even a Toyota Auris. So the best engine to have is this one, 2000 DIT. When you're looking at the manufacturer claims of 0 to 100, they're quoting like a 7.5, and actually this car can achieve that because the shifting here is actually pretty quick, and it's a very good car to drive on the road. It feels very stable, it's planted, and then when I'm looking at the insulation of road noise, it's pretty way better than most cars in the segment. Subaru did an absolute good job when doing that, because when I was reviewing the Subaru Forester SJG, I was literally shouting such that you can get my message, because the car was letting in a lot of road noise. So this car, when it comes to driving dynamics, the throttle response, the marriage between the gearbox and the engine, I'll say it's a masterpiece. If you want something that is fun to drive, the Subaru Forester SJG or XT, if you like, will tickle your fancy. Fuel economy, fuel consumption for the Forester SJG, if driven conservatively, that is if you drive well, you don't drive like a jack, or you don't drive like me, because I normally drive like a maniac, will be in the region of 11 to 12 kilometers per liter. That is gentle acceleration, and actually that's pretty good figures. In the SG, I was doing 8 kilometers per liter and I received lots of criticism, but you can see that is an old car with an archaic 4-speed automatic transmission. Now this fuel economy is as a result of the CVT gearbox, and that's one of the advantages of the CVT drivetrain. Now if you drive like a maniac, or you drive aggressively, you're going to get like 8 kilometers per liter, 8 actually to 9 kilometers per liter, which is still good, especially when you are gunning the car. That is pretty good fuel economy. The only downside is that if you are averaging 8 kilometers per liter, and for example you have fueled the premium fuel, which is normally expensive, it may cause a dent in your finances. So that's why you need to drive sensibly when you're driving this SJG. In the non-turbo one, the SJ5, fuel consumption will be around 12-13 kilometers per liter, because it's actually better when it comes to fuel economy. And then good thing with this Subaru Forester, especially coming from the SG version and the SH, the driving position is pretty good. You have a very good visibility of the road ahead of you, and that is what actually makes this a driver's car. They do an acceleration test, 0 to 60, 0 to 100. This car has 3 driving modes. I have an intelligent mode, which keeps RPMs low. I have sports, and I have sports sharp. So sport, that's intelligent, sport, sports sharp. All right, let's go. Go. 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. This thing is super quick. As you can see, I'm already doing 140, and it's planted, sure-footed, very quick actually. Of the 4 engine flavors, the SJG is the sweet spot. If you want something that is, if you are into spirited driving, it's something that is gonna pin you into your seat, because you have 250 brake horsepower and 350 Newton meters of torque on tap. Of course, most probably you want to know how does this car compare to something like a Mazda CX5, that is the 2.2 diesel, or the 2.5, or even the Honda CR-V, or even the Mitsubishi Outlander. Now, once you drive the Subaru Forester SJG, everything in the class, especially when you're looking at the ex-Japanese crossovers, feels and becomes slow. There is no debate about that. The acceleration of this car from a standstill cannot be compared to any Japanese crossover. The only car that I feel that will compete with this car pretty well, though it's not a Japanese, It's the Volkswagen Tiguan, that is the 2.0 TSI. If you want to purchase a Subaru Forester, make sure you're getting the SJG. This is the sweet spot of the engines. But if you're getting the SJ5, don't expect fireworks from that engine. Yes, it's more reliable. The FB20 is pretty solid to live with, but it's a lackluster engine that it will just take you from point A to point B without any thrill. Maybe you can also consider the SJ9, that is the 25 RSCC. It has better acceleration than the SJ5. Of course, we don't get the diesels here. That's why I'll reserve my comments about the diesel flavor. So the best engine is this 2000cc D8 engine. Yes, it's pretty sensitive to maintenance. Of course, I'll be sharing maintenance tips later on, so you may want to remain on this channel so that you learn more. Now you're going to live with this Subaru Forester SJG. Those people normally say Subaru is a Toyota. You may want to test drive this car back to back with a Toyota RAV4. That's when you'll know that this car is miles ahead, or these cars are worlds apart. This is a driver's car. That is the honest analysis of this car. Of course, it's very expensive to maintain when it breaks down. That's why you need to be a little bit conservative, and you need to be disciplined when it comes to maintaining this car. All right, how does the Subaru Forester SJG look like? Now, when you have the Subaru Forester, this XT and the non-turbo one, there are visual changes, or let me say there are visual differences that distinguish this car from the non-turbo one. For example, it comes standard with these daytime running lamp here, and even these let me C-shaped daytime running light. And as you can see, the face here is very aggressive actually, because the SJ5 looks somewhat conservative. You have these 6 stars here, of course signifying Subaru's logo. You have these mesh grill here, and then these are turbocharged version. Previously, Subaru used to give us a hood scoop on this place, but now it is no longer there. But if you want a hood scoop, of course you can do it. For example, if you want to enhance your car matters looks, there are aftermarket bonnets with that modified hood scoop. On the side profile, the Subaru Forester SJ looks, let me say, somewhat boxy, and it's grown from the previous generation. You have these chrome finishes here, side mirrors, winkers here. Of course, they look pretty good. And then this car actually comes with 18-inch original Subaru rims. You can see they have a black and let me say silver-like finishes. They look pretty good. This car on the side profile, it's very boxy actually, and that contributes to the practicality of the Subaru Forester SJ series. Coming to the rear side of this Forester, you have this Forester and XT badge here, of course, to tell you that this is a turbocharged version. And then you have the six star logos here. Of course, you have this big spoiler here, which improves its looks. And then you have parking sensors here. You also have a double exhaust system. Now, from the looks of this car, it's actually pretty good. On the left side, we have this asymmetrical all-wheel drive system to tell you that this car is a full-time all-wheel drive. The Forester SJ is a grown car from the SH, and even practicality it has improved. You have an electric tailgate. Of course, it responds very slowly. It may irritate you, especially if you are in a hurry. But then, this boot space is around 560 liters. It will swallow all your bags and luggages. For example, as you can see, this stroller fits this way, so you can pack like 2 of them, and then it will swallow your bags and luggages, especially if you like camping. So it's a very practical crossover, if you ask me. It also comes with a memory tailgate. Actually, you can set this boot to the height you want. If you're short, it will lower slightly. If you're taller, it will move slightly upwards, and that is a very good feature actually. Let me give you a cabin tour of this 2015 Subaru Forester SJ. This is the highest specification. It's normally called the touring spec. We have a cruise control button, the driving modes, that is the S and SI. We have volume control buttons on the left side. We also have these paddle shifters. This car is a CVT gearbox, but it has 6 ratios. If you want to flick between those 6 ratios, you use it. On this side, you have this push to start button, and then you have this memory height for the boot. And then you have the traction control button. Another cool feature with this Subaru Forester, this touring trim, it has this big panoramic sunroof. that opens to the rear. It's actually bigger than what you're finding in something like the Subaru Outback. My analysis of this cabin, yes, it looks a little bit minimalist, but for this high-spec version, it's actually pretty good. Space-wise, the Subaru Forester is a practical car. You can see I have a good amount of headroom. Of course, what makes this headroom pretty smaller is because this car has a sunroof. Those without a sunroof actually have more headroom, but I'm a tall person and at least I'm not having any problems. The legroom is also pretty good, and with this seats being electronically adjusted, you can easily find your driving position. Checking the amount of knee room in this Subaru Forester SJG, it's way improved from the SH variant because I have like 15 centimeters of knee room. The headroom is also pretty good, and you can see people traveling in this second row seat will be very comfortable. It's an all-wheel drive, but you can see the drive shaft tunnel is not that big, so even the middle seat is pretty comfortable. You have isofix hooks here to hook your child seat, and you can see it's pretty good. And my analysis of this second row seats, it is way better than what you are finding in something like a CX5, because CX5 the second row seat is actually one of the worst in the class. The Subaru Forester SJG is going to check your boxes if you want a practical car, if you want a fast car, because once you drive the Forester XT, everything else in the class, is, especially when you're looking for at Japanese cars like the CRV, CX5, the Xtrail, the Outlander, becomes low. The capability of this car when going off-road is actually unmatched when looking at the Japanese crossovers. The only competition that comes close when it comes to the off-roading capability is the Suzuki Grande Scudo, or the Suzuki Vitara if you like. Yet it's very expensive because the Forester SJG, this turbocharged version nowadays, especially for the top spec, is going at 3.4 to up to 3.6 million shillings. The SJ5, the non-turbo one, which is very slow but more reliable, goes for around 3 million shillings. So it's an expensive car, but I think it's value for money. Yes, the ownership for this car is pretty high, but you need to be on top of your game if you are owning a car like this one, because this car is very expensive to maintain. It may be very expensive to maintain than even German cars, something like the Audi Q5 or even the BMW X3. Because once the engine here dies, you are going to be in for expensive repairs. On another ground, if you think your maintenance behavior may not be that good, it's good going for the SJ5, because the turbocharged the D8 engine here is not one of the best, especially if you are careless with where you fuel, and then it's very sensitive to the type of fuel. And when you're looking at the transmission here, it doesn't like aggressive driving because it's let me say very delicate. And maybe another thing, the steering rack of course is expensive. That one affects both cars, both the SJ5 and the SJG. So guys, let's catch up next time. So once you realize that your car is consuming a lot of fuel, it's losing power, and maybe it has cold start issues in the morning,